Hi guys, welcome to Munich, to the ISPO Outdoor trade show, the biggest trade show in Europe in summertime. A little bit of a bad news is that I only have about 6 hours to visit this, but I am happy that I can do it anyway, just time-wise. One thing that I've heard already and saw on the website, that the show is a little bit smaller than it was in previous years. So just follow me on my small Munich adventure. First one, of course, is the brand Rap. You know that I wear a lot of their clothing simply because I like it and it's value for money. I'll show you around the booth a little bit because there are some big changes going on at the moment. One of the big changes that you see here at Rap is that they have got a new sleeping pad. And the sleeping pad that really surprises me is basically that we see from another competitor that's called X-Pad. Rap now makes a down mat. The Hypersphere 9.5 has got an R value of 9.5 and it is filled with 650 count down. The Hypersphere 7.5, it's a lighter mattress. That one weighs 840 grams in total and this one only 610. That is because it's filled with a 800 fill power down quality. Now the other difference that we see on this booth is the backpack section. Now we all know the Lowe Alpine brand, of course, from the backpacks that they're doing, and since last year or maybe even the year before we also know the Rap backpacks. But for the future Rap is going to develop way more backpacks than they did in the past, and there is of course a sort of resemblance between Lowe Alpine and the new Rap backpacks. For example, the new Hyperon. It is a backpack that is, well, sort of looking like the nice Lowe Alpine Detour, a very famous backpack that I also reviewed a couple of years ago. What will happen to the Lowe Alpine brand? Well, there is some secrecy about it and they don't give me an answer. Maybe they're going to be into shoes, maybe they're going to be into tents, maybe they are going to be into the travel department on duffel bags. Nobody will tell me what is actually going to happen. The Klean Newport. It is a sandal that I've been traveling a lot with. It's a leather upper and it has got a very nice toe protection cap. I spent 2 weeks in the desert in Israel with this one, with a heavy backpack, and it works absolutely fine. But still, it's a little bit brown and is quite heavy. Now, the Klean Hyperport. It's the new one and it was won a ISPO award. It's way more lighter. It's not made out of leather, but out of a material that will not do anything when it gets wet. And of course, it's got the toe protection, which is of course good if you're walking into water, puddles, streams, whatsoever, that you won't hurt your toes. So this is going to be the new one for me probably. Now, new to me on this trade show, and yes, I've seen it in a glance before, is the brand Denner. Denner, I did not know. I thought it was a European or maybe German brand just because of the name, but it is not. It is a US brand and it's been producing since 1932. What I learned today is that Denner, they do these very nice classical boots, leather and a Zwiegenete construction. They told me that Denner, because it is from the US, just like Gore-Tex as a membrane manufacturing company is, that they are actually the first shoe brand that cooperated with Gore-Tex. Now, in all of these boots there is of course a Gore-Tex liner that keeps the shoes breathable and waterproof. And if you don't know how that looks like, this is basically the Gore-Tex sock that is inside the boot. Now, the nice thing about these two are that they can be totally taken apart and that you can exchange every part of it just because of the design, and this has been going on for more than 90 years by now. What they do produce now for next season, or this late fall I believe, is the Denner Mountain 600, if I'm totally correct. And what we will see is that the outsole and the midsole This is basically one construction to the upper. It is glued together. Now, Denner claims that they are the first ones, when you put heat into the shoe again, that the outsole can be removed, so you can exchange it when it's worn out, and the same for the midsole. So when the damping is gone, you can just put a new one in there. And in that way, these boots are pretty sustainable. One little thingy at the moment, this one is going to be for sale later, but if you have something that's wrong with these two shoes, they will be shipped from Europe to the US. So if that's a sustainable thing, I'm not really sure. But they will be opening late fall 3 European service centers where you can repair those shoes. So that is something that is sustainable. One thing, check the price before you buy them, because they're not the cheapest of shoes, because they are totally made in the US. That this year's ISPO is a little bit smaller has got its benefits, because I saw the brand Bynolyt. And Bynolyt is a Dutch manufacturer of binoculars and monoculars. Or monoscopes is maybe the better word, because a monocular is of course one of those small glasses. Now, they're doing a complete new series, and the turn on this side and the hawk on this side, of course, they are a little bit different. You see they've got 2 bridges, this one has only got 1. It does not mean that that one is less sturdy than that one, because the construction should still be very, very strong. This bridge is made out of titanium. This bridge is made out of basically a mix between aluminium and a composite. What I just checked, because I like this series, it's sort of lightweight and it's got the range that I'm looking for, is that of course the eyepieces, and if you've seen the review that I did lately, they twist up and they twist of course down, so that they can be used with glasses or without glasses. But the cool thing about this one is that you can actually basically twist off the complete eyepiece. And there is a reason for this, because this one is being turned a lot inside and outside. Of course, if you're outdoors, some sand or dust might get into that, and then the thread will wear out at a certain point. Now what they do is they send these eyepieces to dealers, so that if you've got a problem with your binoculars, that they can repair it on the instant, which I think is also very nice, because then you don't have to send the binoculars away to basically the servicing center in the Netherlands. And for those of you who never heard of Bynolyt, they're being sold of course in the Netherlands, Belgium, Luxembourg, some parts of Germany, and in the UK. And if you are watching from the US, then send them an email that you might want to see a dealership in the US as well. You've probably heard about the bottle brand Klean Kanteen. Klean Kanteen does bottles in stainless steel that are single wall or double wall insulated ones. Now, new for coming season is this bottle with a new sport cap. And it's a single hand operation, so you can hold the bottle with one hand and open and close it. And this one, it will never ever leak. And that's a little bit different than, let's say, the predecessor, because this bottle, this cap, at least the first productions of them, they were not 100% leak proof. They made a new one by now, so if you've got one of those older bottles with this sport cap, then you can exchange it. You can buy a new one. But this one should be absolutely leak proof. Now what I absolutely do like is that you can buy basically the top part with the straw as an accessory. So if you have one of those old bottles, one of those single wall bottles, and you want to put a new cap on it, that you can just take that cap, and it comes with a telescopic straw. So that means it will fit the small bottles, the medium bottles, and also the larger bottles. Now, did you ever wonder where these came from? Well, if you go to the scrapyard and look at old cars, you will probably see a lot of missing antennas. Here at Katadyn, they've got 2 new features for next year. And the first one is the B3, and it's the next generation B3. The smart thing about this one is that when you turn it upside down, of course, like so, and you press the button, water flows, of course. In this case, when you close the cap, nothing is spilled. But the real new thing on this one is basically on the inside. We know the membrane that is inside already for some while. But the good thing is that on the top part you've got this little black piece. And this little black piece, if I can take it out, it is activated carbon. And activated carbon, it is one thing that I would have loved to have when I visited Iceland, because Icelandic water tastes like sulfur. And this will absolutely eliminate that taste, next to, of course, that it does some other things as well, on purification, of course, of water. Now, this one is going to be available in January 2025, and it's going to replace, of course, the B3 that we already have. The other big news for 2025 is going to be the replacement of the Katadyn Combi. And we all know this one already for some while, but this is the new one. It is called the Explorer Pro. And this is basically going to do the same things as the Combi, but a little thing extra as well. Now, as you can see, this is still in dull gray, so this is a prototype that is sort of working. They don't know yet how many liters exactly is going to be filtered in 1 minute. They expect about 1 to 2 liters, which is a quite decent amount, to be totally honest. And also this operates, of course, with 3 types of filters. You've got the active carbon filter that basically makes the taste of the water a lot better. It's got a hollow fiber filter that takes out a lot of algae and that kind of stuff. And of course, it's got a ceramic filter that cleans basically the water even purer. And if I remember correctly, what was told to me is that this one has a membrane or filter that is up to 0.001 micron. But maybe I'm wrong here. We'll do that next year. Now, as you all know, I love rooftop tents. That's one of my Toyota Land Cruisers. And this one, it really caught my eye because the name of the brand, it's called Groenberg. And Groenberg, it really is a typically Dutch name. But it is a Danish company, and you might know them, or Danish-German, from the tent brand Wexel that I've reviewed in the past as well. And this one, it's a clamshell model, of course. It's made out of aluminium and synthetic materials. And it has got really sturdy hinges. And that's what I like, because now you get more space for your feet. The other thing that I do like is that it has got a totally flat top. And that's different than the rooftop that I'm having. So on this one, it is even possible to put a surfboard on it or some big solar panels. And that's something that I would like to have for my cameras, to give them some energy. Feet ventilation, also very nice. Now, I've been talking to these guys, and probably somewhere when it's out there, I'll probably have a review example for the YouTube channel. Explain, you're from the Ukraine.
Yes.
And you do food.
Yeah, so we are Ukraine manufacturer of freeze-dried food, and what we do is like full range of freeze-dried products, means like breakfast, main meals, soup, snacks, and drinks.
Snacks.
And we do also the energy bars, which are 100% natural, meaning that we don't use any artificial ingredients. And they are made from dried fruits, berries, nuts and seeds, and no added sugar. So the idea behind that was to create something that our kids can eat without any like fears, let's say, and that's the key thing. So they are our testers.
And when did you start this?
So we started that at 2015.
So that's pre-war.
Pre-war for sure.
It's got nothing to do with the war in the beginning.
Yeah, the key idea, as I mentioned, was to have outdoor food in Ukrainian market, because we didn't have it almost at all. There are a couple of players, but their sales were so small, not because of the issue with them, but because our market wasn't developed in this way. Meaning we had our outdoor people, let's say, they had different habits if it is about how to eat when you are when you go outdoor. And it was tough goal, not just only to cook, to launch the product, but to educate the audience, to show him that it's other way, not to bring like cans, like raw vegetables.
Is that how you do it in the past? Bring cans?
Yes. So the fire camp.
That's way too heavy.
Exactly.
You're strong people, but
Yes.
what's inside? Is it all produced in the Ukraine itself?
Almost, meaning that we definitely don't grow figs in Ukraine.
Yeah, sure.
But we are trying to use as much ingredients as we can from Ukraine. All meat, all seeds, all vegetables are from Ukraine. And we see that as the Ukrainian manufacturer, Ukrainian brand, and Ukrainian taste as well, as the key thing.
But you started somewhere in 2016 for consumer markets, and since the war, does that mean that people still go outdoors and buy your stuff, or has things changed?
Things are changed because, talking about the past, when we didn't have war, everyone could be happy, go outside and so on. We had really great dynamics if it is about the growing of the outdoor market. In the growing of the outdoor food and market as well. And after that, after the war was started, so the behavior of our target audience and the audience itself, both there were changed, meaning that it's not kind of quite good to go outdoor, like to go hiking while your country is in war. So we definitely have decreasing of outdoor activities. At the same time, people who started take part in war, they had a demand to have something they can eat there.
Yeah.
So, other words, now we have like big amount of orders that are like targeted for the military, for the refugees, and so on. So, as you might know, because of war, we have really big problems with the electricity in our country, and it means that our product works well as the emergency food box ingredient or components, meaning that you just add hot water
and
you can have it at home even without electricity, and this is it. And plus, again, one of the characteristics of freeze drying is long shelf life without any special conditions. Again, you just, in case you have it, you can eat anytime you need. Just need to have hot water. Even more, we have some meals where you don't need to use hot water at all. So like snacks, as I mentioned, jarkas and so on.
Like these.
And definitely energy bars.
And you're still looking for international distributors?
Yes.
So, if you are looking for a new brand, the proof is in the pudding. It's not pudding, but it tastes absolutely nice. Contact Mike. And
we'll be happy to talk to you.
Is this something you do all by yourself?
No, I'm not sure. Definitely not. I'm the fan of strong teams, and I'm happy to have 2 more partners. We agreed on all the things, and because of the war, 2 of us, me and my partner, Sergey, we are military currently. It is pleasure to be here because it's a really short vacation. I should come back to war within a couple of days. And our 3rd partner, he is in charge for operational stuff, and he has health issues. He is here and responsible for the product. So and I'm happy to have such partners because it's, you can do something by yourself.
So for you, the trade show is a little in between.
Yes, I brought my family here just to have common time with them, and to kill all the rabbits, and to have all the pleasures in place.
And if you live in the US, for us in Europe, for me in the Netherlands, Ukraine is quite far away, but it gets pretty close now. Now, if you remember the last video that I did on ISPO, I ran into a guy that was having something really novelty. That was a foldable bicycle helmet. Now, it can't be a total coincidence because the foldable helmet won a ISPO award. And this is how it looks like when it's flat, and this is when it is inflated. What I notice is that it is quite heavy if you compare this to a lot of other bicycle helmets. And the other thing, how nice an invention can be, how ingenious it can be, it retails for over 400 euros. And I think that is a little bit steep, to be totally honest. When talking about outdoor products that win a prize, really, I am a sucker for kids products. And this is a sort of unique 3-in-1 sleeping bag. It is made by Trollkids, and it is a sleeping bag that has a nice liner inside that can of course be taken out, giving more or less warmth of course. And of course you can use this one separate as a sort of blanket sleeping bag. I don't think it's absolutely unique because I've seen other ones, but I like the design and I like the fact that a kids product gets an award. Now, since I've learned last year that I have an autoimmune disease called vitiligo, which basically means that on parts of my skin the pigments are retreating, leaving basically very white marks and leaving the rest of my skin quite brown, I know that I need to take care of the sun. And I use sunscreen on a daily basis, even in wintertime. It's just something that I do in the morning at the moment. This one, it is called the Turbat Maya Hood Track shirt, and it is made of a weaving from polyester that protects 100% against 50 UPF plus UV radiation. So maybe this is something that I should be wearing in the near future. Although I do know that most shirts that I wear that are just from cotton also protect very well against the UV radiation. The backpack that I did not show you on the Rep booth is the Rep Veil XP, and in this case it's the 30-liter version, and I do believe that I saw a 20-liter version as well. It is a ultra light backpack. It only weighs just a little over 500 grams. Therefore, it's of course made of very lightweight materials. Now, if I turn this over, and I hope I can turn it enough, then you will see that on the front there is a pocket that you also see in the Rep running vests that were launched last year. And that's where a lot of the material choices of the harness come from. And the harness itself, it is made from a mono mesh material, and I hope I can show you this. And this mono mesh material, it is very breathable, it does not absorb any moisture, and it can flex in diagonal ways, but not in the vertical ways and not in the horizontal way. So that means that when you're carrying stuff in your backpack, how lightweight it can ever be, but it will still not move everywhere around, while you'll still have, when moving, because of that diagonal flex, you can still have a lot of freedom of movement. The waist belt of the Veil is of course pretty clever because it's made as a minimalistic design. What you do is you release the Velcro, you correct it to the right width, and then you've got the buckle here so you can release the belt itself. So you will never have to adjust it anymore, except when you do really long hikes, because then you will probably lose some weight and you need to adjust it with the Velcro again. So that's the news basically from Rep on the ultralight section of the backpacks. A brand that I did not hear of before this trade show is NNormal, with double N in the beginning. And this is the Trail Top Crop, if I'm saying this correctly, and I'll put it in the screen below the correct name because it probably says something wrong. But it is a bra integrated into a top. And what I do like about it is that it's got really nice, very airy, big mesh pockets on both sides, excuse me. So you can carry water or maybe your smartphone, and also over here it's got another pocket for your bar, energy bar if you like. Now here at Bach they've got something new and something that is pretty special but also reminds me of some old products. It is the Bach Starhopper. Now what I do like about it is the fact that behind the main zipper there is a very well filled draft collar, so no cold will get in here. Now what I can do now is, if I'm getting a little bit hot, is open the zipper from the outside in this case, and there is still a mosquito webbing behind it. Now if I think I'm even more warm, of course there's one on the other side as well. And as you can see now, my hands can come out because I can open the mosquito webbing as well. Now, if it's a really cold night and I feel comfortable and I'm outside and I still want to have my coffee, then I can have my coffee. Thank you so much. Oh, this never happens in the outdoor. Not with a cup like this. It's a wonderful espresso. Now, this is only one part of the gig. If I can close this again. Now what I can do as well, if I am in Scandinavia and I want to camp outside on a nice night, I can use the mosquito webbing and I'm totally free of those freaking midgets on the Hadringen Vida. Now, this is something that might you think about something we did in the past as well for this channel, but there's one thing that is absolutely new to Bach, and that is the fact that the pole itself, it is a air beam, and that is the novelty on this Bach sleeping bag. There are not that many tents on the ISPO trade show this year, but one tent that is basically worth mentioning, it is the new Bach Dodo, a 3-person, very roomy tunnel tent. Now, the name Dodo, it's a dead bird and also a fantastic movie, Adventures of the Dodo. Google that one if you like, or YouTube it, because it's really worth watching. But the numbers, they are pretty astonishing. 3-person tent for 4 seasons, and the minimum weight is 3.1 kilograms. The maximum weight, when you've got everything in the package, it is only 3.6 kilograms. What I noticed, that it is a bit more spacious than some other tunnel tents that I know, some competitors. And what is really special, that if you follow me inside, there's much more to show you than on some other tents. Because on the inside there is 60 centimeters for every person, so you can have a decent sleeping mat in here. And what I'm missing on some other tents by now is storage, and the Bach Dodo has got storage all over the place. Now the other thing is that the vestibule, it is also quite spacious, so you can put some backpacks there, or if you're a couple on cycling holiday, it's an absolutely great storage space for your bike panniers. Now the other thing is, it's not a 100% symmetrical tent, because this part, the back, it's a little bit smaller, but there's still enough space for 2 decent backpacks. So that's what I wanted to tell you on the Bach Dodo. It's still alive. When we're talking about ISPO Awards, Sea to Summit joined the party, because with a new Detour range they created a stainless steel foldable camp kitchen. And just let me take the biggest pot that I can find here and take the lid off just to prevent falling. You can see that because of the silicone in the middle, it folds back to basically half the size, half the bag size, not in weight of course. Now what I do really like about this pot is that the bottom is made out of a very sturdy, thick piece of stainless steel, which makes that the heat that you put on the backside, that it will be exchanged really nice into the pot itself. Now, because this is stainless steel, it is of course a little bit on the heavy side if you're doing a backpacking trip. This is more for car camping, maybe van camping, or even a motorcycle. But just around the corner they have got a new foldable lightweight set as well. And that's over here. Now, this one also won an ISPO award, and this is the Ultralight collapsible frontier range. And basically it's the same gig. Let me take the frying pan. It looks like a frying pan, but actually if you take the silicone, it is a nice cooking pan or pot. Now, I've been a jury member of the Scandinavian Outdoor Awards for many years, and I was like doing it. I stepped out of it last year because, well, there's a time issue going on. But I'm pleasantly surprised that Lundhags is doing something, for their opinion, totally new. Lundhags is known for those single leather boots, basically that are pretty heavy and that you need to have some time before you get accustomed to them, or that your feet get accustomed to them. But this one, it really looks like a more comfortable boot for most people, so that you can just put your foot in and walk long distances in Scandinavia. That's a nice development. It's my friend. Now guys, this was what I wanted to show you on Outdoor by ISPO. As you can hear, carts rattling everywhere, people are breaking up, and it's not even closing time. I've really got mixed feelings about this ISPO. First of all, because there are way lesser brands than I'm used to, halls that are less, brands that I'm not seeing, which is, I think, really a very big pity. Then there's one other thing that caught my eye when I saw the first press releases on ISPO, and also when you arrive here. And that's this nice guy above the entrance, wearing a nice jacket and a nice backpack that is carrying a plastic water bottle. What is the message of ISPO? Should we be carrying plastic water bottles and recycle them? Or what I would suggest is strongly use a steel bottle and fill it with tap water and use it and use it and use it endlessly. Better than plastic bottles. Now, lesser producer, lesser brands, lesser halls to visit, lesser news. I see the clouds rising above the ISPO trade show. Is there going to be a trade show next year? I'm not too certain about this. Ciao. And now I should say a big thank you to my mate Bryan.
Most welcome.
Who called me in the last moment. Maybe we should go to ISPO. That's what we did. Thanks, mate.
You're most welcome. Good day.